Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another gigantic drilling vehicle, where this one, if you have not seen it already, is called the Factorum Megadrill, which is this lovely thing all the way over here. So this is an absolute ginormous drilling vehicle that features the prototech drill on the front. It's got a full-on interior to walk around, as well as an easy access ramp to get up and down without using your jetpack, and it even has an emergency doorway on the top to hop in and out without needing to use the ramp. We also got windows that we can roll down on the inside, so if you are on an oxygen planet, or a planet with oxygen, you can simply use that rather than using your oxygen in your oxygen tanks. And just quickly come around towards the very back here, we are, this is the ramp talking about. You press that button, it falls all the way down, then behind there you got yourself a door. The door is unique, because when you open it up, the door behind it is going to turn itself off, so you cannot accidentally open this up if you're on an oxygenless planet. You will need to close up the door. After a short delay, this will turn on, and I'd open up and go all the way through into a tiny little area right here to drive it around. Then on the side, the sliding doors you see are the windows that you can roll down, like I said just a second ago. It's going to come like so. Press F10, find the spawn menu, have a look around the outside, go and have a proper tour of the interior, drive around for a bit, and then I probably won't drill it for a mountainside because it should be fairly self-explanatory, but I will touch on a few little issues that I had with it when I was testing out earlier in the mountainside you see up there. Then we go over to here. Pressing F10, finding in spawn menu, the Factorum Megadrill is 2,273 large blocks using a bunch of the DLC packs. Now this does obviously use mods, so you see we've got tank tracks around our wheels, and it does come with quite a few of the tank track mods, but you'll find all that on the actual Steam Workshop page itself. It's all just to make the tank tracks actually work properly, and also the visual effects with the tank tracks. But if you don't want to use the mods, it is entirely optional, so you can simply forgo that and drive around like a regular land vehicle. Yes, we're going to come around like so. My character bugger off just a little bit. Off he goes. And well, this is what we get for the very front of the Factorum Megadrill. So what we can see is our prototech drill make a gigantic hole through a mountainside, and of course collect up a nice lot of resources. On the left and right hand side, we see our wheels and how they've been set up with the tank track mod. We'll get a better look at that when we go around the outside. What I want to do before we do that, come all the way down to here, we've got ourselves a little red light, making a nice ominous glow below the vehicle. Moving around onto the side. There we are on the side of our big old prototech drill. Then all the way over here we've got a camera, one on both sides that use a T-junction truss block. We've got a camera right in the very middle, and on the very edge here, a rotating light. Up onto this section we've got our angled floodlight. Onto this part are regular spotlights behind some barred windows. Then onto this section some fantastic use of our armor panels and barred windows, adding a small little mudguard or little protection thing for our wheels, but I completely forget what it's actually called. Anyways, there's another little light on the front there. As we come around on the side, we're going to see some hand skin all the way along the bottom of this thing, as well as a bit dotted here and there. We're going to have some steel blocks as well, and the grey and white colouring just poking all the way out to make sure this flat surface is not so flat, and just to add to the overall look of this vehicle. Moving all the way across, we see our wheels have been set up with large ones and small ones. Then towards the back here, we've got some more yellow blocks, some more yellow armoured panels, where right behind here is going to be some heat vents. So all the way onto this section, there they are right there. They'll simply light up when we move this thing around. Come all the way up and onto this section, so along the top of our wheels, we then got a small little rack, which is quite a common thing to see on a lot of vehicles. We've got some barred windows, which are just housing a bunch of barrels and a few other bits and pieces, such as the floodlights on the front and the back. Onto the side, there we are, so a clear view of the barrels right there, as well as a floodlight in this little cage. Then towards the back there we are, so we use this to store a few bits and pieces inside if you want to do that. But other than that, it's just there for some decoration. Go back to the top in just a moment, around towards the very back. Here we are, there's some more lights on the very back, and here we are once again, as we saw at the very start, for a little ramp where you press that button and it'll fold all the way down. But we'll take a look at that when I actually go around on foot. Yes, up there's the camera so you can actually reverse this thing up. We then see two batteries behind some beam blocks and some more grey steel blocks. Then all the way up to here we then see some railings and a bunch of catwalks just covering up the very top of this vehicle. So all the way across, we've got our big catwalks in the middle, half catwalks on the side, and all the way across, past all of our covered up containers, we then come to this section, which has an emergency doorway in and out. We simply turn it on, open up, then we can drop all the way down, through this section, past a little bed, and back into this section to drive it around, but there's our doorway to actually go and escape out, and our windows on the side. Back all the way up towards the front. There we are for the middle, there's our spotlights, there's our yellow catwalks, there's our drill at the front, coming all the way back down looking on these sides. Here we are, so all the way across. On this section, like a bunch of junk just held down in this barred window cage, where we once again see our floodlights, we've got an action relay right there. On top of that, it's our compact antenna. round onto the side, back on the top, all the way across, some round steel blocks, fantastic use of the letter block spelling the Factorum Megadrill, little access panel to open up, and here we are once again with our barrels and floodlights, towards the back of this thing, and there are some more floodlights, which are once again in a barred window cage. Moving to the opposite side, so the exact same thing, there's our barrels, there's our floodlights, there's our Factorum Megadrill in the letter blocks, slightly different access panels this time. Then at the very front here, slightly different once again, but still mostly the same. Big difference is our action relay is gone, and instead we've got ourselves a event controller. And we're looking on the side as a whole. There we go. Looking from above as a whole. Then moving all the way down underneath is, and well, there we are. Not too much to talk about here, other than that our wheel suspensions be clipped in through a bunch of armoured panels. We then see some more catwalks going all the way along towards the bottom, and all the way over here we've got ourselves a solar block pointing towards our hinge. That's how we're going to get in and out, which is what I'm going to do in just a moment. But other than that, that's a brief look around the outside of Factorum Megadrill, and what it is, it looks bloody glorious how it's been set up, and very reminiscent of a mod they did showcase on not too long ago. I believe it was also called the Megadrill, can't actually remember. Anyway, I'm going to grab hold of my character, and now we're going to come around towards the back to actually see that ramp. So all the way past here, and this is the size compared to the engine here. Yes, this vehicle is bloody massive. Around here, we've got a handy little button to press. Pressing that, falls all the way down. There's your connector, there's your ladder. And once it hits ground, there we are, now stops. Now to get up to here, we don't have to use our jetpack. The ladder has been set up so we can just grab hold of it, let go of it. Now we're up on the ramp. We now walk past this section, get inside. But first of all, buttons up here to play around with. So on the top here, we then got our hinge to go and close up right behind us. Turn on the lights behind the vehicle to toggle the door on and off. Then you're connected to lock and unlock it. We're going to open up this, press number 1, it's going to fold all the way up. Now we're going to step inside and close up the door, and now we're safely sealed inside. Turning around, opening up this, into here, and this is what we get. So the very front we've got ourselves our locker, so a few bits and pieces inside. To the left, a little seat to sit on, there we go. And of course our window to roll down and let in oxygen, but we'll have to turn it on and open it up. Looking through here, we then see the opposite side of our wheels, and of course our tank tracks, and of course behind that little armoured panel cover we saw on these sides. And we close that up. There we go. Looking in this section, past here, and then we have our wheel suspension being dipped into this little passage block. And yes, that's that on this section. To the opposite side, in the floor, there's a little cargo terminal. Onto this section, another window to peer outside. Final thing is our seat sit in and actually look around here. So yes, we're not going to be able to see outside of this thing. We'll be heavily reliant on the cameras at the front and the back. But looking down, there's our horizon, there's our meters per second, time of day, planetary gravity, and more over there, we just about make out the weather. Bring up the HUD, these are the controls we get. Starting on tab number 1, we've got number 1 for our parking brakes on and off. Number 2, number 3 for you drill at the front, turn it on. And of course I have it constantly on if you want to do that. 4, 5 and 6 for your cameras on the left and right on the front of the vehicle. Then number 6 for the rear camera to help dock it up. Then we've got number 7, turn on spotlights all the way around this thing, on and off. We've got interior lights on and off as well. We've got number 9, which is the very important one for drilling vehicles, and that's an ore detector to make sure you can go out and about and actually collect up resources. On to tab number 2, we've then got a hinge at the back, turn it on and off, and to move it up and down. We've got a connector lock and unlock it, batteries auto recharge, oxygen tanks on and off, your prototech refinery on and off, O2 heat generator, reactor, and then your air vents on and off. On to tab number 3, we've got all about your wheels, which is for this vehicle quite important to play around with, which we'll see in just a moment. So that's going to be how we're going to be able to drill through a mountainside quite consistently. We'll touch on that in just a moment. On tab number 4, we then got our sorter on and off, connector on and off, antenna, action relays, but we do not need to touch them. Tab number 5, we then got our refill station on and off, our doorways on and off, a bunch of event controllers. On number 6, nothing else, 7, nothing else, 8 and 9, nothing else. So we're going to drive it around. So we're undoing the parking brakes and moving forwards, here we go. This thing is going to be, as expected, bloody slow, but it's going to behave very differently compared to a traditional vehicle. Due to the way it has been set up and due to the mods it uses, it basically just slides around on the spot like all surfaces are covered in ice. Come to a stop and actually reline the camera. There we go. Moving forwards once again. And here we are. So it is going to cap out about 20 meters per second, which is very, very safe for this type of vehicle because we are using a prototech drill on the front there. We do not want to get that damaged. So if it does get damaged and destroyed, it's going to be a bloody nuisance to actually get another one to replace it. Turning around here. There we are, heading towards this rock, if I can. It does like to oversteer quite a lot, so do be aware of that. In the camera view, coming up against this rock, Here we go. And once we come all the way up against it, I'll start to mine it up. Then we'll go put it into our containers. First of all, because I did forget about this when I was checking out earlier, in containers, there we go. We do have a few bits and pieces already inside here. So we've got gravel, we've got some iron, nickel and silicon, we've got uranium in our reactor, and some ice in our O2H2 generator. Start to drill this up. There we are. And what was as you expect from a bloody large drill, we can simply demolish it and turn it into absolute nothingness. We are going to miss a few bits and pieces here and there. Not too much we can do about that. That's what's going to cause us to get stuck when we drill through a mountainside, because the wheels will get trapped on it. And as I found while testing, it might be a good idea to remove part of the skirt on the side, where the hand skin is going on the bottom, just removing that up to the steel blocks. So it does help quite greatly with it getting stuck and being able to actually move forwards. Yes, speaking of that, what I'm going to do now is come up to this mountainside and show you one that I tested earlier. So all the way up here, we've got several holes, one of which did go considerably further than the others. So all the way through here, here is the vehicle that I was playing with earlier, and here is the hole I made. With the way the wheels have been set up, you do tend to go slightly down-ish. It's quite hard to make it go stable. As you can see here, the skirt has been side destroyed on the side deliberately to try and help out. I did get stuck all the way over here, which is what caused it to start turning downwards. Yes, it does make a nice big hole, but it will take quite some time to actually get in the correct position. Make sure you can drill straight through, and me perfectly straight through a mountainside to actually build a base inside. But I believe that's pretty much it for this drill. What it has to offer, what you can do with it, and if you actually can set up the wheels correctly, if you're going to actually try and make it so you can drive straight forward through a mountainside, you can get some pretty good results out of this. Unless you're me, you just end up just drilling straight down, which is part of the course for me with drilling vehicles. So be link to the description below to which you download the plan yourself. Highly recommend you do, because it's a fantastic looking vehicle. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.